So, couple weeks left of the summer holidays, but it doesn't mean that the EFL gets to stop for Game Week 4 of the EFL. Hi again, it's me. Today we're doing my EFL Game Week 4 predictions. Yep. The likelihood today, I'll get ourselves is a 5 or 6 likes today. If you get that'd be nice. And make sure you subscribe as well as we're trying to get ourselves up to 200 subs by the end of the summer holidays. And also, we're 9 subs away from 200, so every subscriber counts. But also, I'd like to say, is a congratulations and a well done to every year 11 that have gotten their GCSEs today. Right, the time I'm recording this was today, but the time it will be uploaded will be yesterday. So congratulations to every year 11 that has passed their GCSEs. But I'm proud of them. I'm proud of you lot. But no messing about with the Friday night. Derby taking Bristol City now. Derby. What? Not one team had 8 goals. One team had no goals. And Derby, they were 3-2 up. And then 7 minutes later, they collapsed and losing 5-2. No, 5-3. And Bristol City draw 0-0. But Bristol City are 4th place. Derby's 22nd in the championship. But it's going to be very tight on the call, really. I think both teams will score, but it's going to stay like that for like a while until like the end. As Bristol City will win, Derby will sadly get 3 out of 3 defeats. May turn into a 4 out of 4 next week. So I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Bristol City for this one. Now we're at the Valley for the lunchtime kickoff. For Charlton take on Leicester now. Yeah, boys. Both teams came from 2 separate divisions last season, and also in the 23-24 season, they also both came from 2 separate divisions in the 23-24 season and 22-23 season. Yeah, but it's a game to watch really last tournament. I ain't got a clue what happened in the last tournament, but I know it's been a long time, and it hadn't been like that since a generation ago. But yeah, but I do think Tottenham hasn't conceded a goal all this season yet in the league. As for Leicester, lost 2-1 to Preston. That took them quite. That was quick for them to see them get their first defeat in the league this season in the Championship. Last time in the league, it took them 5 games, but this season it took 2. But I have a feeling it's gonna be 2 out of 3 defeats. Charlton is gonna pull off a big upset. I think a 1-0 win to Charlton for this one, as I got Lloyd Jones in defence, captained for this game week. Now to Hull taking Blackburn now. Another 12:30 kickoff. Yeah, Hull, what a win. They've been pulling the user spin McBurn, as he scored in the 90th minute. And actually, it seems it was at the MKM, I bet it was, but Glimpse wasn't there because he's on holiday. And for Blackburn, 2 out of 2 defeats. Very good standing times really after seeing all of their players probably go to John Eustace and see them suffer for now. But yeah, exactly. But I do think the Hull I think Blackburn will not lose, as I really think they will avoid defeat for the first time this season in a 1-1 draw. And in League 1, 12:40 kickoff, Luton taking Cardiff now. If I could tell you. Both teams came from the Championship last season. 2 seasons ago, they came from 2 separate divisions. 2 seasons ago, there's one were in the Prem and one in the Championship, and they both got relegated together that next season. Not what you're on about, like couples, not like that. That is no. I do think it'll be a good game to watch, really. Both teams are up there. Cardiff finding a way in the 92nd minute against AS Wimbledon on Tuesday night. And both teams won 1-0, so it could be the ones for this one. But it's going to be really tight. I'm having a feeling it's going to be a 1-1 draw. It'll be really tight, to be honest. Then to League 2's 12:30 kickoffs. Newport taking MK Dons now. MK Dons conceded for the first time in the Paul 1 era after drawing 1-1 to Crawley. 1-1 to Crawley. They still can't even beat Crawley after what's going on with Crawley. They're 22nd in League 2, and MK Dons slipped down a place, back down to 5th. But They're still up there. They're still up there. But I do think that MK Dons will be back to winning ways here. I have a feeling 2-0 win to MK Dons for this one. And then to Walsall to Salford now. Whoo, yeah, this is going to be a game to watch, really. Yeah, Walsall lost 1-0 to Grimsby in the weekend, and not in the midweek. And for Salford, won 1-0 in the midweek. So it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. Salford is up there, they're 4th place, and Walsall, they were up there for a little bit before the midweeks, but then they just started to slide down, not a slide, as they're in mid-table again. But I do think it's going to be a really tight one to watch, really. I'm having a feeling there's going to be goals here. I think a 2-2 draw is happening at the Walsall Stadium. But then we're heading into Deepdale now, with my team going to Deepdale for Preston taking Ipswich Town now. Ipswich Town with 3 1-1 draws in a row to start the season. One of them is that we do not talk about. One of them is that we do not talk about in this crib. And for Preston, what an upset they did against Leicester at Deepdale. Oh my days, now I'm concerned about them because they could do it to us. But we're saying Clubby Akpon and Manchester will be starting for this game. I don't know about Clubby Akpon, but who knows? Who blooming knows? I have the club in the fancy team, and I have Lee Davis in my fancy team for this game week. And I really think we're going to get our first double this season. And it's going to be my first time I predicted them to get a dub in the league. I think of a 2-0 win to Ipswich for this one, but I swear, if Preston beats Ipswich, oh my days, I will. But they're heading into Southampton taking on Stoke now. Whoo! Southampton unbeaten in the league this season so far. So far they're beaten. And for Stoke, they are running away with it. First place in the league. Beaten Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 at Hillsborough, despite what's going on at Hillsborough. It's just so depressing and sad, really, on what's going on. But yeah, but we'll get on to them in a moment. But it's going to be a very tight one to watch, really. I really think that Southampton might beat Stoke here. I think a 2-1 win to Southampton for this one. Then the Birmingham Oxford now. Birmingham found it away. They had to come from behind against Blackburn at Ewood Park last Saturday to win 2-1 at the end. One of them goalers, one of them players that scored was Chase Stansfield. Most of them put them in my fantasy team, but I ain't, or am I? But it's gonna be a very tight game to watch, really. Oxford, they just been McBurned from Hull City on Sunday. But I think they're gonna get Chase Stansfield by Birmingham. I think a 3-1 win to Birmingham for this one. Then to the Racecourse Stadium with Wrexham taking on Sheffield Wednesday now. It'll be a good game to watch, really. Last time they met, it is a long time, but I don't know when the last time they met. But I do remember Sheffield Wednesday and Wrexham both haven't got a win at all this season in the league. But here's the thing, both advanced to round 2 of the Carabao Cup. So yeah, it's gonna be a very good game to watch, really. I do think there's going to be goals here again at the racecourse. I think that Sheffield Wednesday will get a surprise point, but Wrexham will get their first point of the Championships era since 1983. I mean, there's going to be 6 goals. It's going to be a 3-0 draw at the racecourse. I'm feeling it in my mind. Then heading into League One now with Peterborough take on Bradford now. Bradford, what a start they're pulling off. They're 4th place in League One and Peterborough. Do I dare call them Peterborough, or should we call them Stinky Borough or Horrifying Borough? Horrifying Borough we should call them now. But no, we should not bully them. Or should we? But yeah, it is just horrible scenes at Peterborough, really. But it is just 5 defeats in a row for the start of the season. It is just the worst start ever for Peterborough. It's going to carry on here. Bradford will pull off an unbelievable start in League One. I have a feeling a 3-1 win to Bradford for this one. Then to a big clash at the top end of the table. Huddersfield taking Stevenage now. My days. When did this came? When was this coming? Stevenage, top of the table with 12 points. They found its way out of the 85th minute. After the 85th minute, they were 1-0 down, and everyone was thinking Port Vale was going to get the first up. Nope. Stevenage always found it a way. Stevenage had to ruin the fun for Port Vale and winning 2-1 in the midweek. And for Huddersfield winning against Doncaster 2-0. So both teams beat the two newly promoted teams. And they're coming up together at the Huddersfield Stadium. But it's been a really tight game to watch, really. It's going to be very, 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 very tight. It's been really tight. I can't decide on who's going to win here. I think that Huddersfield might be upset by the dark horse Stevenage. I think a 1-1 draw is happening. It's going to be a 1-1. I think it's going to be a big test for Stevenage, but they're going to do it. And then to AFC Wimbledon on Barnsley now. AFC Wimbledon holding Cardiff for 90 minutes just to lose 1-0. They are impressive, really. AFC Wimbledon, like, they keep a clean sheet for always. There's over 80 minutes, but somehow at the end they just can't. Their hands just melt at the end. Their hands just melt. The clean sheet melts for their hands at the end because they lost 1-0 to Luton and lost 1-0 to Cardiff. Could they lose 1-0 to Barnsley again? But it's going to be really tight. And I do think the AFC Wimbledon could hold on to Barnsley here at Plough Lane. And I have a feeling it's going to happen here. I'm thinking of a 2-2 draw at Plough Lane. And then the Plymouth thing on Blackpool now. Woo, Plymouth. Now Blackpool, what a long journey they had to pull off from Blackpool all the way down to Devon, at home park. And for Plymouth. 4 defeats in a row from the start of the season. This ain't Championship, Plymouth. I'm just reminding you that this ain't a Championship. You're League One. You're League One, Plymouth. This ain't a Championship. But they could be going to blooming Rochdale away or Wealdstone away if they're going to carry on like this, and this will be more embarrassing if they end up being in League 2 because we're going to hear a lot of weird name games coming up from Plymouth if this carries on, but it's going to be really tight. It's going to be really tight. Blackpool's also putting off a slow start after losing to the Mansfield, but it's going to be really tight. But I do think Plymouth will get their first point. A 1-1 draw is happening at home park. Then heading into Bolton and Lincoln now. Bolton drawn 1-1 to Reading on Wednesday night. Yeah, about in the middle of the screen, but yeah, back to the video. As Bolton drawn 1-1 to Reading on Wednesday, and Lincoln, I am sleeping on Lincoln. 7th place they were, and there was at one point at one stage in that throughout the game, they were 4th place, but they won 1-0 against Southampton, but other teams scored and won, so they dropped down to 7th, but they're up to 7th. Surprisingly, they could be the dark horse this season, Lincoln, but it's going to be very tight on the watch, really. Bolton, I think they're going to make another draw again, really. It's going to be a 1-1 draw here at Bolton. And then to Wickham and Reading now. It's 20th versus 21st. Reading earned their first point on Wednesday, drawing 1-1 to Bolton. I said it for the 3rd time now, and for Wickham, they keep on losing, haven't gotten their first dub at all this season. But the only dub that they got on all competitions this season is that 1-0 win against Newton in the Carabao Cup in the 93rd minute winner. But yeah, it's a really good game to watch, really. I've had a feeling in my mind. It's going to be the first win for Reading in the new owners era. I have a feeling a 2-1 win to Reading for this one. And then heading to a big clash now in League 2. 6th versus 1st. That 1st versus 6th. Crewe take on Gillingham now. Both teams scored 4 in the midweeks. Gillingham scored 4 against Chesterfield. And Crewe beat Fleetwood 4-1. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting game to watch, really. Gillingham are unbeaten under the Gareth Ainsworth era as manager. And for Crewe, 12 points they pulled off in the first 4 league matches this season. Could they make it 5 out of 5? If they do, that'll be wild, and they could be up there this season, Crewe. But and yeah, don't understand Gillingham really, because they're always up there at the start, and then somehow they just fall down the leaderboard and never to be seen again in the top 7. But who knows really? But I'm having a feeling there's gonna be goals here. I think there might be goals here. I think a 2-2 draw is happening at the Moonflake Stadium. Then to Accrington and Grimsby now. Accrington on 20th place. Grimsby throwing off the best start to a league campaign since the 1990s. Wow, after beating Walsall 1-0 on Tuesday night. And for Accrington really, I don't know who they went against, but as I was saying, it's going to be a very hard game to watch really. I think Accrington might hold on to Grimsby for a while until Grimsby pulls off an amazing start to the season. It'll carry on a 1-0 win to Grimsby for this one. And then to Cheltenham and Barnet now. Cheltenham 4 out of 4 defeats. Barnet, what a win they pulled off at the county ground on Tuesday night. I was watching it, beating Swindon 2-0. 2-0. One on the 80th minutes and the other from the 100th minute. Absolute scenes it was from the Barnet end. And let me tell you, it was scenes, absolutely scenes. But let me tell you, could they make it 2 wins in 2? I think it's going to be happening here. I have a feeling it's going to be a 2-0 win. A 2-0 win to Barnet for this one. They're keeping another clean sheet. And then to Bromley to North County now. Ooh, it's Michael Cleek versus Mr. Dennis for North County. And Dennis scored 2 against Shrewsbury on Wednesday, winning 4, battering Shrewsbury 4-1, and with Bromley battering Cheltenham 2-1. And yeah, it's really a good game to watch really last time I met at Bromley. Bromley were 2-0 up, then somehow lost 4-2 to North County. So it's going to be a very tight one really for this one really. North County are 15th, Bromley are 7th. Wow, what a start Bromley's having, really. Unbeaten. Like, last season, they were unbeaten for like 2 games, and then somehow they just fell down the leaderboard. But now they're just sticking up there for this season, but for now. But it's going to be a very tight one to watch, really. I think it's going to be a very tight fence. I think a 1-1 draw is happening in Bromley. Then to the final game now is at Harrogate. For Harrogate can take on Chesterfield now. Harrogate, what a win they pulled off against Barrow 1-0 on Tuesday night. And for Chesterfield, got battered by Gillingham 4-1. 4-1 defeat to Gillingham. That is absolute embarrassment for Chesterfield. But here's the thing, could they recover from that quickly? But they're down to third. They're still in the top 3, but the way they just look like a mid-table club from that. But could they recover from this quite quickly? It's going to be very tight, but I do think Harrogate might pull off a perfect start to the season. I have a feeling a 1-1 draw. Harrogate's going to pull Chesterfield to a 1-1 draw. But here is the rest of my predictions and the fantasy team for Game Week 4 right here. And yep, it's my predictions, and yep, you can comment down below on what your predictions are going to be. And yep, thank you for watching this video. I've enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And you'll see you guys later. Bye.